I want to do another paint pour today. I love how the coaster turned out that I did yesterday. Yesterday I did a video on how to make these little concrete discs. I use them as coasters. So if you're on my Christmas list, just go ahead and turn this off now because everybody's getting coasters for Christmas. I'm going to make a set of 4 today. This was just kind of a little leftover thing yesterday, but I love how it turned out. So I'm using light blue. So I'm not very practiced at this, so I am just using up like all these old craft paints that I already have. And I'm going to try something a little crazy today. I've got this like leftover glitter paint. I'm going to use that as just kind of a little lubricating base on these. The glitter might like screw up the flow. I don't know, but hey, this is art. It's not science, kids. I'm just going to kind of mush that around. So these discs I made yesterday, they're not dry enough yet. They're dry enough to paint because the moisture can seep out the back still. I wouldn't do any kind of epoxy work with them yet. I'm still going to do a video on cracking these open and reforming them with epoxy because that makes a really cool thing too for either a coaster or mosaic. Okay, so we are just gonna dump in our paint. And I'm curious to see how the glitter, what it does to these guys. I figure you can get away with a little more glitter on something like this than say a wall hanging. Okay, I think I'm just gonna it's like we're not getting our black and our blue in there. I'm going to rotate it a little bit. I'm going to let these kind of naturally drip down. And I knew I'd have a little leftover paint, so while those are kind of moving around, I'm going to, hopefully you can see this. This is another silicone mold that I have it's a tea candle holder that looks like a little rock. These are really cool. I'm putting the tea candle upside down so that it doesn't just fill up with paint in there. And we're going to do this guy too, maybe making a matching set. Some paint's going to get down there, but I think it's going to be okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now we got our black coming out. Oh, wow. Okay, there's a lot of paint on these, so I don't know that base glitter thing that I put down there is really going to matter. Now I'm just going to try to get the edges. So always use acrylic paint, water-based paint, meaning it has to be the kind of paint that you can wash out with water, not the kind that takes turpentine. But I've been experimenting with, like I said, leftover paints. I even used a little like house paint sample yesterday that seems to be drying up just fine and melding with all the other types of paints. So as long as they're water-based, they should be compatible. I think this is going to make a fun set. So what I end up doing with these, they really are low maintenance. So I hit the bottoms with a sanding block because the edges are a tiny bit rough and you obviously don't want to scratch a table or something like that. And then I'll also post links to the mold, and I'll post a link to the mold for that little candle holder, but also just those little sticky pads that you put on the bottom so they don't scratch anything. But the sanding is really minimal. It's not a big deal. It just takes a second. I use an electric sander. If you don't have that, it's fine. Just use a piece of sandpaper. Oh, I like these. Okay. I'm going to let those those hang out. I'll lift it up, maybe get a little close up here. That's my dog Diego in the background. Thanks for watching.